But hey, talk to us about Javier Fortuna and how proud of you are of Javier Fortuna that he's made it this far, and he has this big fight coming up, and he's still fighting, and even though he's in his 30s now, but he's still fighting on, and he's a former two-time world champion. He's accomplished quite a bit.
Well, with Giorgio Diaz, like always, I remember with Sergio Maravilla Martinez, he come in with a broken ribs or coming with a broken hands, and the last one to find out is me after the fight. So Martinez used to say, if I tell you every fight that I was hurt, we will have a heart attack. and the same thing happened with Fortuna, because Fortuna had the same school like Martinez, because he was in the same team, working in California in the beginning of his career. So he took some of those, because with Giorgio Diaz, after the fight, he showed me an X-ray that he had a broken fingers. So I said, why you tell me that before? Golden Boy is my family too. Maybe can push a month or something, But yes. Sometimes he doesn't want to believe in himself that he can beat it. But in the 6th, 7th round already, the finger it was broke, And it took a long time to recover, but now he's 100%. This is what he told me. With that way.
So now that we know about this injury, there's some boxing fans that are questioning Fortuna going into this big fight, saying that they thought he was going to beat Jojo Diaz, and that didn't happen. So now questioning, like, is Fortuna going to be okay against Ryan Garcia, or what's going to happen? Because everyone, a lot of boxing fans thought that Javier Fortuna was going to beat Jojo Diaz, possibly knock him out.
Yeah, I don't want to take nothing against Jojo Diaz. He had a great fight, and he was very close. I believe that even though the judges, it was not really fair with the Fortuna, but in the same time, you don't want to take nothing away from the winners, like it was Jojo Diaz. But Fortuna, you have a heart that you put it in a heavyweight and you'll be working exactly the same way. You know what I mean? You have a heart of a really a giant heart, and you will never give up. So, look, it's a tough fight. Ryan Garcia is a very good fighter. But we see what happened in this fight. He picked at the home Fortuna because he thought that he maybe getting in the age that he is not too fast, is a little bit slow, who knows? But it was a choice of Ryan Garcia.
Speaking of Ryan Garcia, he's much younger. He's taller. He has a longer reach, if I'm not mistaken. So in other words, he has some good qualities, but at the same time, Fortuna has the experience. He has a punch. He's a southpaw. So they're both good fighters. But like we just discussed on Javier Fortuna's last fight, it didn't go his way. So now everyone's saying, no, this is going to be an easy fight for Ryan Garcia. And most of these boxing fans are leaning towards Ryan Garcia. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I love Ryan Garcia because in one of the fights he saw my grandchild, Dylan, and he told him, listen, tell him to your daddy that I love him, but if probably I would beat his boy, we continue friend with my grandchild. So he showed you that he's a good personality, a good human being, and an example for fighters. I don't like sometimes the fighters that they have so many trouble out of the ring, or doesn't go to a child and give it a hug like Ryan Garcia did it with my grandchild. So I cannot hate, and I don't hate anybody, by the way, but I cannot wish him anything wrong to him. And most of the times when my fighters fighting other ones, I have a good relation with everyone, even though it's not my client, put it that way. So like I have a good relation with the Charles brothers and many others that every time I see him, he hug me, you know what I mean? We're talking. So it's a business. At the same time, I want definitely to win Fortuna because he deserves it. But it's in a tough fight. It's in a tough fight. And hopefully we work it out. He can, if, he knows, he understands that this win, it means a lot of money for himself. He doesn't come for the money, he comes to fight. And always, I cannot remember in all these years, he never say not to face a southpaw or right-handed or whatever. Or if he's too tall, or he's too short, or he's too fat, or whatever may be the other opponent, always he say yes. Sometimes I have others boxers that if it's not himself, it's the management of the trainer, he say that is don't take that fight. You know what I mean? But he manipulate to his trainer always. Since I know him, he used to be when I got him 17 years old, and he manipulate every one of his trainer. This is the Abejón way. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's wrong, but he did very well because many times he fought and he won against the wish of his trainer.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I like that kind of attitude that Fortuna has. He's willing to fight everyone.
That's correct.
But now the question is, if number one, if things don't go his way, what happens next? And if Fortuna beats Ryan Garcia, can we possibly see Fortuna face someone like Tank Davis? Because I'm hearing that Ryan Garcia is looking ahead in a fight with Tank Davis, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, most likely he will not think about anybody else to fight, especially Fortuna. Why? Because we have automatic rematch. So doesn't make no difference. If he beat him, he need to beat him twice. Then he will think about who is fighting.
And another question I have is, with Ryan Garcia having been knocked down in the past, there's a lot of boxing fans saying, well, let's see what happens if Javier Fortuna knocks down Ryan Garcia. Will Ryan Garcia get back up?
Look, Fortuna is not really a puncher. He punch, but that is not a great puncher. But he need to do a combination and try to chop the tree before he go to the kill. However, this fight is something very special because he have nothing else to lose and everything to win and to gain. So hopefully he win this fight and he continues his career. But we have a rematch clause, so you need to beat him twice.
But with the rematch clause, if let's say Javier Fortuna knocks out Ryan Garcia, does that mean that there's still a rematch?
Rematch is rematch. Like Cambosos, he got beat by Henny so badly, and it doesn't make no difference. He will lose again, and most likely by knockout. So you never know. Sometimes you get knocked out, or sometimes you lose, like Charlo did, and you win in the rematch. So this 50-50. It will be 50-55 now, and I believe it's still 50-55. The only problem is that we need to find out what left we have in Javier Fortuna. It's a long career.
It is a long career. He's not that old, but he's somewhat old. So Ryan Garcia being out of the ring for quite some time, it helps in a way where Javier Fortuna, can do more damage.
Yeah, we have a contract that he never come to success before the pandemic. So that fight is supposed to happen, So actually, Golden Boy, he complied with the first contract, put it that way. So, sometimes, people between promoters, everybody fighting between one promoter and the other. I don't believe I fight with any one of my colleagues. I'm friendly in my age, and what happened to me in the past couple of years, I'm living for free, and I don't want to engage in any bad situation with anybody, Like, thank God, I'm living for free now. So after a very bad cancer that I had for a couple of years, and now I'm free of cancer. So the only thing I want is to gain friends and not enemies.
I was just gonna mention that I'm happy for you. I'm so happy that you were able to beat cancer.
Yeah, God give me another chance, and I want to take advantage of that. He knocked me down, but he give me a chance to get up and continue fighting.
That's good news. That's good news. But I have to ask you this question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But I heard that Javier Fortuna doesn't believe Ryan Garcia with his excuse from the past, with this fight not being made in the past. What's your thoughts on that?
Look, Fortuna is a fighter. And when he pulled out of the fight, he lost a lot of money. So he cannot be happy. But I know it's a fact that he have issues, mental issue, before the fight. So that it was the last drop of water in the glass. So it was true, and I give all my respect to him, to his management, that they come back. Instead to lose a fight because he was not mentally fit to fight. I believe he showed that he's a great human being, that he didn't come for the money. He thought that he can lose maybe, and he pulled off of the fight. But now, he want to comply with the contract. So I need to give him all the credit of the world. He chose Fortuna, not because he's a veteran, because he have a signed contract and he pulled out. So people talking about Ryan sometimes negative, but to me, he's a good human being, and he's very smart kid.
Yeah, he sure sells tickets. He's talented. He's explosive, you know, he's fan friendly. So I think he's good for boxing, and I'm excited for this fight. But before I let you go, I gotta get your prediction on how you think this fight's gonna play out.
It will go the distance, and it be about the judges. That's what I feel. You know, hopefully I have a good team of judges that the winner will raise his hands. But I don't believe in getting any one of these two kids knockout.
Okay, so it's not gonna be a knockout.
No, it'd be 12 round of brutal fight, but it'd be crazy. Look, if anybody knows Fortuna, he knows that it's coming to fight. So it'd be a really great fight.